Okay, so I'm gonna go the long skinny way here, like this. Okay, but you can also have it be just the full blanket. But we want some glidey, slidey area, right? So if you were doing some of these moves at home, you could do it like on your living room rug or carpet. But you definitely want glidey, slidey. And everybody has a ball, right? Or just ball. All right. And we can swap out at some point if it's too much air. Okay. So this is a class for the belly and releasing tension in the belly. Okay. So I know I say, oh, do this every day, you know. Makes sense. You say that about everything. Yeah. But it is true, at least for my own practice, there are two things I do every single day. I start with meditation, I sit, and then I roll the belly. And then after that, it's like, you know, who knows? Who knows? It's up for grabs at that point. It could be all over the map. But those two things I always start with every single day. So I do think that this is a really important practice that, to help release tension in the belly. So grab your ball. We're gonna go face down. And for the first part of this, we're just gonna kind of be extemporaneous. And you're just gonna think about the rib cage, the bottom of the rib, and the pelvis, okay? And so really anything here is game between the ribs and the pelvis, right? And if you get in there right away and you're already like, too much pressure, then you just need to take some of the air out of your ball, or I can swap out a ball with you, the one that has less air.
So is the belly supposed to be relaxed when you're doing this? Or
Good question. Wow, that is yes.
Okay.
Yes. Try to be as relaxed as you can. So it's not like we're engaging our core. Okay, so very good question. Thank you for asking. A relaxed belly is soft. Okay. Now it doesn't mean that we don't ever contract, right? We have to. We have to have strength there as well, right? But yes, a relaxed belly is soft. And try to think gliding, sliding, right? So the organs, when they're healthy, they glide and slide over each other. Hi, Lori. We've got a blanket over your yoga mat, too. For this first part, we're just kind of being fluid and extemporaneous, like a jazz musician. Just kind of being impromptu and listening to the body. At some point in your home practice, you can find an area that feels a little dicey, and then you might just come down and rest and be in compression, right? That's also another technique. But just for today, we're just kind of using more movement just for this beginning part. Okay. And then now we're going to get a little bit more specific. So take the ball, think of the two halves of your pelvis like catcher's mitt. And we're going to take the ball to the right side of the catcher's mitt. Okay? So the right side of the catcher's mitt, just go ahead and snuggle that ball right in there. And then you can either stay, you know, with straight legs, or it's gonna create a little bit more pressure, but you could bring the opposite leg up. And that's gonna just, you know, kind of drive that pressure down a little bit more onto that right side abdomen, okay? You can stay up on your elbows or maybe come all the way down, you know, just resting your forehead on your top hand. So this is now just the compression. So we're just settling in. Again, if it's too much pressure, you know, if it's creating any kind of back pain or discomfort, then we just need a ball with less air. Now you're welcome to just stay here in the compression, or we're gonna add, oh, I like what Carol's doing. Carol's just bending and straightening that right leg. That's a very cool thing to do as well. Maybe pump that leg a few times. Okay, then go ahead and keep that leg straight. And I'm gonna think about pressing that right thigh into the ground like I'm trying to kick a soccer ball. So it's as if you are going beneath the floorboards, right? It's isometric, you know, the leg isn't gonna move, obviously.
Which leg?
So you're gonna be bending the left leg. Yep, no, the other way, the frog. So straighten the right leg. There you go. Bring that left leg out to the side like half frog.
Oh.
There you go. Okay. Now we're gonna be straightening. We're working the iliopsoas here. You're gonna be keeping that right leg straight and you're trying to press it into the ground. Press that right thigh into the ground. The same thigh where the ball is on that hip. Okay. Inhale, hold, press, and then exhale, soften, release, and let go. Okay. So we'll do that again. Inhale, hold, press that right leg into the mat, and then you exhale, you soften, release, and see if there's a little bit more softness in there. Okay, let's do 2 more times like that. So it's inhale, hold, contract, press that right thigh into the mat. You're trying to kick a soccer ball, and then exhale, soften, release, and let go. Okay, very nice. And then just a few times, think about staying on the right side of the spine, and you're just gonna go up and down that right side of the spine. Okay, so I'm just using my elbows here like a little army crawl, going up and down that right side of the spine. And you can do this with either your left leg bent or straight. Okay, very nice. And then from here, let's go to the other side, okay? So you'll just take now the ball. Imagine as if the 2 halves of your pelvis were big catcher's mitt, and you're just gonna catch that ball right into that left catcher's mitt. All right, now decide what you wanna do with the right leg. Okay, you can keep it straight, or you can bring it out into like a half frog, and it's gonna drive a little bit more pressure. And first we're just here, you know, we're just kind of landing and breathing, and you could do that bend and straighten a few times of that left leg. Okay, now you're gonna keep that left leg straight, and then here we go. So inhale, hold, contract. That straight leg, the left leg, it's like you're trying to press that leg beneath the floorboards, and then exhale, soften, release, and let go. Okay, let's do 2 more times. Do you guys feel it becoming more receptive in there? Yeah, with each round, it's a little softer. Okay, very nice. And then from here, let's just do that little army crawl. So crawl up onto your elbows. You're like in Sphinx pose, and you're just going up and down now the left side. So from the left pelvis all the way up to the left side of the rib cage. It's like a channel on that left side. Obviously, you want to do this, you know, if you're doing this in your home practice, you want to do it empty of, of food, devoid of food. Don't have a breakfast burrito and then do this work. Okay, very nice. And then from here, let's go ahead and roll onto our back. Okay, so you can flip your legs around so that your legs are facing forward. I'm gonna fix my blanket here. It could be full Shavasana or half Shavasana. Just feel, sense, and notice. Notice any tingle, circulation. Notice your breath. Okay. And from here, think of your left leg, and we're going to bring your left heel up towards your inner thigh. Swing your knee up towards the ceiling, and then pressing through that left heel, just reach your leg away. This is why we have the blanket here. So you're just sliding that leg out to the side like frog pose or butterfly pose. Swing your knee up. Now swing your knee in, so you're swinging it over to the right, and then you press through your heel, okay, to come back to straight. And just keep that circle. And it's coming from the hip. So you bring your heel up. It's not like a full tree pose, it's just like a soft tree. Knee swings up, knee swings in, and then press your heel away. And just keep going with this. You're just on the left side here. Keep it really fluid, circular, and easeful. Let's take 3 more on this side. Okay, and then just go ahead and straighten that left leg. Just let it drop and be heavy. Notice any sensations in the left hip. Okay, and then let's do the right side. So you're gonna bring your heel up towards your groin and then swing that knee to the ceiling, swing that knee over to the left, and then press through that heel. Just this big circle here from the right hip. So the movement here is really circumduction, meaning that we're creating this circle of the ball and socket joint. And from a myofascial standpoint, the inner thighs are connected to the belly. So it's like we get mileage when we work the inner thigh. Okay, let's do 2 more on this right side. Keep your head heavy, keep your neck relaxed. Movement's just coming from that right foot. And then go ahead and press that heel and just let that leg be heavy, the bones dropping. Okay, and then from here, go ahead and squat with that, or not squat, but bend that right thigh so that your right foot is on the ground. Now your left foot is gonna slide underneath and you're gonna hold on with your right hand to that foot, okay? Now what if if you need an arm extender, just grab a strap over your foot and that'll, make it a little bit easier to grab onto your foot if it's not easy to grab your foot, okay? So you're holding on to the left foot with your right hand. The left hand is gonna come behind your head, just like an old-fashioned sit-up, and just land for a breath or 2, just feeling this overall shape. Okay, and then on your next inhale, we're gonna press through that right foot, roll onto your left side, and you're gonna feel the length from your left knee to your left elbow, okay? From your left knee to your left elbow, really feeling it in your lower abdomen especially. Okay, this will be the in-breath. And then as you exhale, just come back onto your back and you land and you settle and you're heavy. And then on your next inhale, press through that right foot, rolling on the outer left hip, and then reach through your heel or through your knee and your elbow. Feel it if you can in your lower abdomen. And then exhale, go ahead and come back to the starting point. Okay, let's do this 3 more times. So with breath, inhale, rolling, pressing off that right foot, reaching, feel it in your left abdomen. And then you settle back into the starting point. Each time you come back to starting point, see if you can be a little heavier in your bones. I love this movement. Now again, it might not be for everyone to grab onto that foot, so you might have to strap that left foot. One more time here. Okay. And then let's swap over to the other side. So now the left foot is on the ground, knees up to the ceiling, and that right foot is gonna slide underneath and you're holding on with your left hand. Okay. Right hand comes behind your head, like that old-fashioned sit-up. All right, and just take a breath or 2 just to land, settle into this, general shape. Okay, and then as you're ready, we'll move on. Inhale, press off your left foot, reaching with we're sliding on the blanket with your right elbow and your right knee, and then you exhale back into center. Okay, let's take 2 more. Okay, after your next one, go ahead and just release and come into Shavasana. It can be a back leg Shavasana or full. Feeling the bones heavy and dropping and releasing into the earth. Okay, and then from here, let's take a full body stretch. So go ahead and reach through both heels. Take your arms up over your head, but palms will be facing each other. Okay, so the thumbs are down, fingers are spread. I've got my feet about hip distance apart here, okay? So it's almost like a standing Tadasana, a standing, mountain pose. Now I want you to think of this little alignment cue, all right? It's a little subtle, but I think we're gonna keep working with it in different postures. Think about the front of your pubic bone, that's the front of the pelvis. And I want you to take the front of your pubic bone, slide it down towards the feet. Now, not so much that I'm arching the back, right? That would be too much. It's more subtle than that. So it's just sliding of that front pubic bone down, and I want you to feel lengthening in your lower belly. Do you guys feel that? Mm-hmm. It's subtle. It's subtle. It's not, again, the ribs are not popping up. I'm not creating a big back arch. It's just the sliding down of the front of the pelvis. Good, now keep that, inhale, exhale, hug your right knee in to your chest. And we're gonna go back and forth, but each time you come into that full body stretch, I want you to think about it mostly from the front of that pubic bone. So that lengthening in that low belly. And then you hug the left knee in, you're just going back and forth here. We'll do that little alignment cue in, several different postures today. Okay, good. Now you can stay with this just, stay with this movement, or next time you come into full body stretch, lengthen through that front of the pubic bone. So the front of the pubic bone is drawing down towards the feet. Okay, I'm gonna keep that. And then I'm gonna lift head, chest, arm, and left leg. Okay, so it's like you're still in the full body stretch. I'm just lifting the left leg. Okay, I'm lengthening through that front of the pubic bone. Inhale. And then exhale, go ahead and lower back down. And then you inhale as you lift your head, your chest, your arm, your right heel. And I'm thinking of that pubic bone drawing down. Okay, so you're in this full body stretch. You're just lifting a little bit away from the floor. Okay, and then you just lower back down, and then you lift up on the other side. Lower back down. Now, what if this doesn't feel good for the neck? You could always slide one hand behind your head. If it feels better for the neck, and then lower it down. I mean, we could do this all day, right? Okay, now stay with this, or you could try, or you could try this. As you exhale, you're gonna lift both legs, both arms, slide the pubic bone down, and then you hug both knees in. It's like a cannonball, okay? And then you inhale, full body stretch, but you're lifted, you're hovering off the ground, and then you hug in. Remember, you can do this with one leg. What if you don't like it on your neck? Take that hand behind the head. Good, let's do, I don't know, 3 more. But you're lengthening that front of the pubic bone. Last one. Okay, very nice. All right, and then just from here, half Shavasana. Knees are bent. A couple windshield wipers side to side. Arms can be anywhere, really. They can be out to a T. They can be a cactus. Okay. One more to each side. Okay, very nice. And then go ahead and come back into the center. Okay. Now you're welcome to roll to your side and come up to seated if you want to watch me doing this next movement. Some of you guys have already done it before, but you're welcome to come on up to seated. All right, so we're just going to start with dynamic bridge, okay, which you all know, right? But once you get to the top, so I'm in the bridge pose, palms are now facing the ceiling. I'm going to take an exhale here, okay? So I'm keeping the pelvis lifted. Exhale. All the air out, all the air out. Hold the breath at the bottom of the exhale, but I'm gonna lower the pelvis down, and what's gonna happen is this whole abdomen is gonna scoop. I'm at the bottom of the exhale, I'm holding my breath. Arms are reaching overhead, so you've got this nice traction for the diaphragm. And then when you need to inhale, you go ahead and inhale, and then just take your arms down by your side. Okay, let's try it. All right, knees are bent. Plant your feet. When you're ready, go ahead and inhale, coming up into dynamic bridge. Okay, good, now pause here, okay? Exhale completely. You can even do it through your mouth. Get all the air out. Hold the bottom of exhale, lower the pelvis down, and see, this is to Carol's point, it's a soft belly. That belly is soft. It's like I'm inhaling through the ribcage, but I'm not because I'm at the bottom of the exhale. I'm holding the breath only as long as you feel comfortable doing that. And then when you need to inhale, go ahead and soften the belly. Inhale. Take your arms down by your side. Okay, let's do that 2 more times. Come up into bridge. Exhale completely. Hold your breath at the bottom of the exhale. Lower your pelvis down. Now you could add on here by sliding your left heel away. And you're going to feel even more traction on that left side. When you need to take an in-breath, go ahead and take an in-breath. Slide that heel back, take your arms down by your side. Okay, let's do it one more time. So inhale, coming up, bridge pose. Exhale completely. Hold your breath. Slide your pelvis down. You've got this whole scooping out of the abdomen. You could experiment with sliding your right heel away. Feeling that whole length on the right side. Only holding your breath as long as it's comfortable. When you need to inhale, go ahead and take an inhale. Slide your heel back, slide your arms down. Okay, Shavasana. Feel, sense, and notice. There's a lot with that one. Should feel a lot of vibration, tingles. Now, if that was a difficult practice to do, the more you can roll your belly with that ball will help. Okay. And then from here, let's go ahead and hug your knees in. Make little circles. And then let's come all the way up to seated. Okay, so go ahead and take your blanket off, and then we'll make our way to down dog.